The movie Straw was not about a struggling black woman. It was about our collective dysfunctional relationship with grief. On a surface level, you can look at it as what it looks like when we are on our last straw and we snap, right? But on a spiritual level, it's about not being able to breathe, right? You remember the I Can't Breathe campaign? That was symbolic. It was both a mockery, but also symbolic to our collective unconsciousness, where we are not breathing. We're not giving space to breathe. We don't have room to breathe. There's so much trauma in the black community, and we don't know how to grieve. So when you think about breathing through a straw, when you're doing yoga, the prana, your prana is your life force. That is the ka, that is the spirit, right? Because water at its highest frequency, this is the analogy that I was making on the Stella Mars podcast. The analogy that water at its highest frequency is vapor. Vapor is equivalent to the breath of life, which leads to the seed of life, which gives you the flower of life. Your flower of life, once you activate the 10 centers of your tree of life, it activates your divine feminine frequency. This is the Christ consciousness that they are talking about in the Bible, the return of the Christ. So when I say that masculinity is an illusion, but modern day masculinity, which is ruled by patriarchy, is so that it is to incite chaos, so that the divine feminine can awaken within all of us, because males do have an X chromosome that they can tap into. That happens through your breath. That's why breath work is important. So when you are in a state of constant stress, your cortisol levels rise. Your cortisol levels deplete the energy, the life force of your cells. So at a cellular level, you lack oxygen. That is why black women have the highest, we are the most deficient in iron. Iron is where we get that oxygen that vitalizes our cells. We are also depleted in vitamin D and magnesium. All of this works hand in hand in allowing our cells to breathe so that they can procreate and put us on frequency, put us in tune with the divine femininity. So in that movie, the whole idea of us not being able to grieve, when you think of the concept of time travel happens in the mind, because time is us. So when I discuss how the molecular, in order for the cosmic waters of the universe to transcend dimensions and land in the third dimension, which gives us the physical body, which is what makes us all masculine. Masculine is physical, feminine is spiritual. So when that happens, in order for the deep, that creates the deep sleep that's talking about in Genesis with Adam, who created Eve. Eve is the rib, which is, Adam is the atoms that make up the deoxyribonucleic acid. That is your DNA. All of this we're talking about DNA. So when she transcends to the third dimension, she has to go to sleep cellularly on a molecular level. Her frequency, her vibrations have to be slowed in order for her to break the barrier of the third dimension and materialize the spirit into matter. So once that happens, so what has happened is she has fallen into a deeper sleep, because she keeps falling deeper. We are becoming more anchored to the third dimension, or we were becoming more anchored to the third dimension. That is the purpose of the patriarchy. That's the purpose of government and politics. That is the purpose of law and law enforcement. So the more they create these artificial programs and insert them, the deeper the sleep is, because we become anchored by it, because we keep participating in it. But once we learn how to let go, we can finally surrender. We have to be able to sacrifice the ego so that we can submit to the spirit. That last line of the movie where Sherry Shepherd told Taraji to put her hands up and surrender was symbolic on a spiritual level. That is how we are able to breathe. The movie Waiting to Exhale, do you remember when she finally healed herself and she was able to love again because she loved herself first, and she took that breath, well, I'm talking about Loretta Devine, and she did that That is what this is all about. We have to learn how to breathe, but in order to breathe, we have to learn how to be. The be, and I'm getting back into metaphysical linguistics here. Be is ba, because vowels are interchangeable and letters are rearrangeable. Ba is the spirit. Spirit is the breath of life. When you are in a state of being, you are in a state of breathing. But we cannot breathe if we cannot be, because we keep playing into the roles of the patriarchy. And that is what's leading us to where we are. We keep crediting. People come under my posts when I talk about masculinity being an illusion. They don't hear anything except white man, white supremacy, colonization, slave mindset. Y'all keep crediting everything to patriarchy, but everything is mama. Because like I said on my last video, mama had to chaos incites before order. So the purpose now, the modern purpose of the masculine, because we want to know, why do men exist if they so chaotic? Because that chaos is going to incite her order. That chaos is necessary for her to wake up, for her to speed her cells on a molecular level and awaken her, activate her divine femininity. When I say I'm Reverend Dr. Sahaja L, giving you the tools to break narcissistic spells so you can activate your divine femininity and increase your proximity to luxury, this is what I am talking about. This is how we are activating the femininity. This has nothing to do with feminism. This has nothing to do with feminism. This has to do with me helping mama restore her children. That's the masculine and the feminine. That is the inward and the outward expression of her creative energy, of her cosmic frequency. So when we look at this movie and we want to say Tyler Perry, he hates black women. Tyler Perry do not hate black women. Tyler Perry is awakening black women. That's who Medea is. Medea is madam, which is mother, which is ma. Medea is ma. And y'all hate her just like y'all hate yourselves. Just like the men you are attracted to hate you too. This is all internal. It has nothing to do with one or the other. This is on an individual scale. We have to learn to be so that we can breathe. But beautiful work by Tyler Perry. I appreciate the Tyler Perry, you did the hell out of this one.